Hello everybody! How are you guys doing? Hi to France, hi Abby, hi Glenn, hi Asker. Lots of people right here already. Hi James, hi Jack. Hi Backham, let's play. Some German questions already in the chat. Hi to Singapore. How are you guys doing? How's the stream holding up? How's audio? How's video? I've been playing around with the settings a little bit again, so if something is a little bit strange, let me know. Hola, Droid. Hey, Vance. Hello to Russia. Hello to Puerto Rico. Hello to Nordrhein-Westfalen. Canada. We have people from all over the world. Yeah. I guess we're gonna dive right in. Today I'm streaming alone. Usually Robin is helping me out, but he's currently on holiday in Italy, so I'll be streaming alone today. But I hope I can still handle chat and cameras and everything, and yeah, entertain you a little bit. The Chief, hello from Wangen. Yeah, hi to not far away. All right, guys. So what we are going to do today is the following. So once 3 weeks ago, I have been live streaming about the Artillery 3D Sidewinder X1, where we did an unboxing and did the first test print. And I've been using it for the last 3 weeks and I'm quite happy with it. But Artillery 3D sent me an upgrade kit to get this machine to the same status as also the release machines, because I had some issues with the enclosure fan that was a little bit too loud, and they said that they fixed it. We'll replace the parts and then we will be putting the WHAM system on the print plate right here. So this printer comes with a glass print bed, which is not removable. The WHAM system is something similar as you can, for example, see on the Prusa machines, where you have a flexible sheet of spring steel which is held to the build platform using magnets, and then you can just pop it right off when it's cooled down, and you can bend it to get your prints basically off from it. All right, any questions? Spike, he just ordered a WHAM system. Nice to hear that. I'm also really looking forward to get it on my machine. So Tom has already been putting his on his CR10. I think Joe, maybe some of you have been to the Sweden 3D printing meetup. Joe, the 3D maker noob, has also put his WHAM system on the Artillery 3D, and as far as I've heard, he's quite happy with it. I actually already, at first thought I'll put the build plate system on one of my CR10s, but since I'm so happy with the Artillery 3D, and I think that this will be my next big 3D printer, which is in my office right here, I will be putting the build plate system on this one, because yeah, this is the machine I'll probably use way more than my CR10s. All right, what is Tyler saying? Do not get the WHAM Flexplate. Didn't come on. Okay. All right. Since already almost 200 people have gathered, let's maybe start with this one. So as I said, Artillery 3D sent me an upgrade kit. I haven't really taken a look on the inside so far, but we will be doing that now. Then we'll probably just open the electronics enclosure on this machine right here, and then yeah, replace a couple of the fans, and yeah, see how it goes after that. All right, so this is what I got. It was unfortunately opened by the German customs, but yeah, otherwise it went smooth. So what these guys sent me, let me just switch to the other camera. Hopefully this is working today. Yes, this looks This looks really nice. All right. So what they actually sent me are a couple of fans. This right here is probably for cooling the Hotend. This right here is for cooling the print. This right here is just a, like, how do you say, a mesh which goes in front of this big fan right here, which will be the new electronics enclosure fan, because the other one, which was a 40mm one, was really loud. All right, then they also sent me another heater cartridge. I didn't actually have any problems with the heater cartridge, so I will not replace this one. A couple of screws, and I think the biggest thing is, oh, hey Peter. So also the mastermind behind the WHAM build system has just joined us. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat and maybe he will answer them. What we also have is a new, well, steel backplate for the enclosure, because we will be removing the 40mm fan and putting like the big 80mm one in there, and for this reason we need a new backplate. You might have actually seen, so my machine was delivered at first with this noisy 40mm fan. I actually replaced the 40mm one for the 60mm one because this was just way quieter and had the same airflow coming out of the enclosure. All right. Any questions right here? All right. Let's switch to the big camera again. If I'm missing out on any questions, just put them in the chat for a second time. As I said today, it's a bit more stressful for me always to watch the chat and then also, yeah, speak in not my mother tongue. All right, so this has this really, yeah, how should I say, weird Chinesium smell to it. And actually my office has been smelling quite weird for the last 3 or 4 days since this arrived. But yeah, just like resin, Chinese smell, I don't know, whatever. All right, so this is everything we got. I'll now open the electronics enclosure of the printer. We will exchange the fans and then we will continue with the WHAM system. All right. Thanks James for the $2, highly appreciated. All right, so I think today the second camera is also working properly. So let's see if I can give you a nice look on the electronics. All right, so last time one of the screws didn't really come out on its own and we had to drill it out. This is the reason why this looks kind of weird right now. But otherwise, I'll just take my really nice Vera screwdrivers and remove the backplate. All right. So I think what Paul just said is that the WHAM Flexplate system is, sorry, not Paul, Peter, is only shipped from the US at the moment, but they will ship anywhere. But as you guys might know, shipping all over the world does include a couple of shipping fees, and I don't know, I hope that it's still really worth the price. All right, so let's remove this one. And let's take a look on the inside. We have already been, taken a look on the wiring and everything last time when we unboxed the printer, and everything is really nicely laid out in here. A couple of things where I'm not that happy yet with is like the print plate is heated by mains voltage and the wires are not that long. So I kind of have the feeling that they gonna kink at some point back here, and maybe, break. All right. Also maybe something interesting. When I was adding the bigger fan in here, even though I used one which had lower wattage than the old one, it still was quite loud. And what I actually just did is, if you ever purchased a Noctua fan, I made myself one of these low noise adapters, which is just basically a couple of resistors wired in series with a fan. Some of the voltage is dropped right here, and therefore the fan gets a lower voltage, turns at a lower RPM, and therefore is more quiet. Okay, so let's see. So we have plugs delivered with the fans, and hopefully we can just unplug the old one and get the new ones in there. I unfortunately just fear they had been using quite a lot of hot glue in there to keep the wires in place, that we will still be able to remove them from the print board properly. Okay. Let's change the camera angle. So we'll be working up here. Yep, there we go. So this right here is actually the wire which is coming from the fan. Let's see if we can identify it even further. So it's this one. So it should actually be this one right here, and this one is actually held into place with some hot glue. So I hope we'll be able to just like remove it and be able to unplug the plug. Ugh. Has any one of you guys been to the 3D printing meetup in Sweden this weekend? I also thought about going there, but unfortunately I didn't make it in the end. But maybe some of you have been there and can share your experience you had. Miss is saying that he will be getting a Mark III in the next couple of days, if he should look out for something. So I don't have a Mark III right here. I only have a Mark 2.5, with which I'm really happy. The only concern that I would have, and which Joe Telling, the 3D printing nerd, showed like a couple of weeks ago, that the heat break uses another internal diameter than the standard E3D heat break. And if you're having problems with jams, think about replacing that one. All right. Ross is asking, bomb disposal live. No, we even though we are working on electronics right here, this is nothing really that harmful. Okay, so the first one is loose. I'll just snip the wires off because yeah, we won't be needing them anymore for the moment. And this is actually unplugged. So let's take the new fan. And so the 40mm one, which was still in there, was really the last annoying bit on this printer, because all in all, it's a really quiet machine, and I really enjoyed using it in my office. Way quieter than a CR10, way quieter than the Prusa Mark 2.5 that I have. Mostly due to the stepper drivers they're using. They're not using trinamic drivers, they're using something rather similar, and they just make a great job of more or less eliminating the stepper noises. This is really nice. Okay, so I lost a screw. Hey Martin, how are you doing? Taylor's asking, will TL smoothers quiet a CR10S? I don't think that they will quiet a CR10S. They might be removing a little bit of the salmon skin effect you might see, but they probably don't make it that much quieter. Making the printer quieter is really something where you should think about putting other stepper motor drivers in there. And yeah, as Vivi Guinness is saying, the fans are really noisy on that machine. But this is something you can fix, but you always need to pay attention that you just take out all of the existing fans and replace them with Noctua fans, even though the Noctua fans are efficient and really quiet. Also, often the flow rate is lower. So even though it's quieter in the end, you might actually run into thermal problems. Okay, so we have 4 screws and the, how do you say for that? This is a fan cover thingy that you don't get your fingers in there. Yeah, anyways, so what I'll be looking for is all of these fans have a mark on the side which tells me the rotation of the blades and the direction of the flow, and the flow should actually go outside, so we will need to install it in this orientation at this location right here. So hopefully that is working out on my own. Okay, this is the wrong one. Let's maybe put a second one in there as well. Fan guard. Yeah, thank you. I was just missing that word. So the thing is, with the fan guard, the screw is actually too short. So I'll be removing the fan guard for once, just because, well, I don't have small kids at home who could get their fingers in there, and also it's on the lower side of the printer where I usually shouldn't actually touch it. So let's get rid of the fan guard. That's also positive for efficiency, and just install it that way. bike. Spec was just saying adjust the motor driver potentiometers on the main board. Have you been talking to me, or was this something you were talking to Tyler in the chat? Okay, first one. So there are lock nuts which have been delivered with the printer, but the screws again are a little bit too short that the nylon side is actually engaging. So I'll just screw them into place and hope that they won't rattle apart. Hey Paul, my name is not CNC. It's actually Stefan. So, but still, hi there. How's it going? It's going well. How are you doing? So all of my German fellows, are you actually not watching today's Tatort on Sunday and are rather spending the time with me right here? Or are you all actually just waiting until Game of Thrones is released? All right. We have been exchanging the fan on the inside so we can close the electronics enclosure again. Domenico is saying that artillery or Evnovo, or however they are calling themselves right now, have been showing off a small version of that printer, and he's really excited about that. I've actually also been seeing that printer that they showed on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. Just a small version of this one. Which is kind of nice because I really think that the printer is a good machine. It's really nice looking, it's quiet and all of these things. I hope that they won't be again using the Volcano Hotend that they also put on this machine. Because with the Volcano Hotend, yes, you are able to print faster and especially with bigger nozzles, but your print quality will suffer a little bit just due to the reason that the amount of material which is melted is just way higher than with a normal standard short hot end like the normal E3D V6, also the ones that are used on the CR10. This is one of the downsides of this printer, so the print quality is really nice, but it could be even nicer if they, I think, would have been using just the standard hot end. But if you are really thinking about printing big models, printing big figurines, this is maybe the machine for you. Joe, you are totally right. I totally forgot to move the rubber feet from the old printer to the new one. Thanks. Sorry guys, we will have to remove the back cover again. Damn it. All right. Let's switch cameras. Full. Okay. So there are rubber feet on the old back plate, and I have to put them on the new one because otherwise the printer will be lie flat on the table. This is bad for cooling and bad for noise as well. So let's just get them off here, and then we'll put them on the other one. Tool, thanks for the 10 bucks. Yeah, I hope that I'll be able to show you how well the WHAM system works. I'm also really excited to get it on my machine because only recently, like a couple of months ago, I got the upgrade kit for my Prusa Mark II to the Mark 2.5 because before I did not even have a flexible build plate system on any other machine, and this is just so nice, being able to remove even big prints without any problem. I'm also sometimes a fan of like annealing my PLA parts, and PLA parts tend to warp during the annealing process, and if you put them on the print plate directly into your oven, the print plate will actually like absorb some of the deformation, and you'll get better annealed prints out of the machine afterwards. Paul is asking, any new projects coming up? Of course, there are lots of projects I am actually working on. Let's see. One video which will be released probably at the end of next week is a video in which I tested how the layer height of a 3D print influences the strength of 3D printed parts. And I think this is a really, really interesting topic. And I was excited to, well, analyze it, and also with the results. I will not spoil the results at the moment, but if you guys have, if you guys think you know if thinner or thicker layers are stronger in 3D prints, yeah, put a comment in the chat, and maybe we can already see if you guys are right on that already. Janice is asking if I am planning to do any post impressions or on Murph. So I won't be releasing a video because Murph has already been over for quite a while, and even though I took some footage of the venue, I just didn't do it as well as Tom did, and I think my strength is not really doing interviews and things like these. So nah, there won't be a video from my side probably, but I have been talking to quite a couple of interesting people there, and maybe there is one or the other project coming up with well, one of the guys who also was at Murph, and there were really, really interesting things there, and I enjoyed myself so much being there, even though it was horribly stressful. It was really horribly stressful because, well, we just flew in for the weekend, but still it was great. Blade is saying that he thinks that thicker layers will be stronger. Thickers are stronger, but overhangs suck. Yeah, we'll see, we'll see. So I have tested layer heights between 0.05 millimeters and 0.4 millimeters on my Prusa, and the results are really interesting. And I at first also thought that it would be another way. But as I said, the video will be released at the end of the following week, so probably Friday or Saturday, and then you can see if you were right. Benny is saying that thicker layers with a bigger nozzles are stronger. Yeah, maybe. There are contradictory thoughts on that topic, and also results on, of studies on the internet, and yeah, I've gathered some of those just to see what they're saying and what they're arguing towards. And I was able to confirm one paper but I was not really in line with the results of another analysis which was done. Marcus is asking 0.4mm layers with an 0.4mm nozzle. Yes, that is working. It looks horrible. Or, well, I wouldn't even say horrible. This is 0.4mm layer height with an 0.4mm nozzle. Not that great, but it works. Yeah, just something on the side. Blade is asking if the bottom is bent. Yeah, it is actually bent. It was just damaged a little bit in shipping, or I don't know if customs bent it to just get a glimpse what is on the inside. It's not too bad. It will be straightened with the screws I put in there. Riza is saying that 0.4mm layer height will be weaker. Yeah, this is something I can already spoiler. 0.4mm layers with an 0.4mm nozzle is not a good idea. You can already see that if you take a look at the prints, and also the test results totally confirmed that. Spike is asking if I will be doing the WHAM system after the fans. Yes, I will. We'll just be replacing 2 more fans, and then we are ready to go and start with the WHAM system. Okay, guys. There we go. Let's see. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to put the light in the background, but yeah, anyways. Steven is asking, did you check ground on the power supply? I actually was afraid of that because I have been watching the stream which TH3D did a couple of weeks ago, and grounding on mine is fine actually for the housing. But if you wanna see that, just give me 1 second, full camera. So I have some exposed metal right here, and this is my earth. And as you can hear, we are grounded. Oh. Webcam. Justin was asking if the heater sock is stock. No, if the heater sock is molded. Yes, this is actually one I did on my own. Wait a second. Maybe there will be something on that in the future, because I think silicone socks can be something really nice. This was molded in high temperature silicone, just in my basement, really easy to do. If you guys are interested on more information, you can also check the latest podcast I did with Tom, where we also talked about this topic for a couple of minutes. Marcus, what's the worst printer you've ever had? This is kind of a hard question. I actually did not really have any totally bad printers so far. All of them were usable, but I have to say that if I would not have known like 3D printing so much, I would have struggled with some. The Tron X1 was a really cheap printer, which did not always work perfectly, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah, there wasn't really a really bad one. I did not have any A8 printer or something like that. A8 A8, which burned down my house. So yeah, I was fine in that regard. Since like reviewing 3D printer is not the main thing I do on my channel, I kind of reject most of the 3D printer reviews because they just use too much time, which I could also spend on, well, yeah, doing proper analysis on other things. Any questions? So many topics, so many comments. What actually was the worst printer you guys already had? That would be interesting for me. Because as I said, I didn't really have that bad ones. I had problems with more or less most of them, but all of them were kind of fixable with some things. Nope, didn't burn down my house. What I'll be doing now is I'll be replacing both of the fans, this one right here and the one in the front. I don't know what they changed on these, but since they sent me new ones, I'll just replace them. Okay, first one out. Let's see if the specs are the same. Yeah, they look totally similar, so maybe there isn't really a big difference there. The question now is just in which direction did we have the fan on the heatsink? It was probably blowing, so yeah, this should be the right one. Let me... Janice, why was your CR10S the worst one you ever had? I also have a CR10S and I am quite happy with it, besides one of the problems I had in the past, and that was that one of the connectors for the heat bed actually, well, almost started burning. But besides that, I'm quite happy with the machine. What are you guys talking about in chat with sticky paper and things like these? Currently I was using sticky paper, but it ripped a little bit too easy. Magic Goo, a Printer Pro. Sorry, I just didn't read the comments. Build plate adhesion. Ah, yeah, this is a really interesting topic. So build plate adhesion. Yeah, so the Artillery 3D Sidewinder also has a glass build platform, and not everybody likes the glass build platform for the reason that it's sometimes hard to get your prints sticking there. But I actually do prefer it over things like the Anycubic Ultra Base or things like these, because I can use things like Magic Goo and a Printer Pro's a Printer Fix spray, because you can actually choose them for the material you're printing, and depending on the material, there are other variants of Magic Goo, for example, and they will help you with sticking, for example, nylons better to glass or polypropylene better to glass. And this is not working if you're having an ultra base. So glass is not the worst. I'm quite a fan of it. The only thing is that removing some of the prints can become a little bit hard. Come on. So the nice thing about the Artillery is that they have a small daughter distribution board right here on the Hotend or on the extruder, And on this one, all of the wires for the heater cartridge and everything are just plugged in. So replacing parts is really easy and you don't need to run the wires all the way to the electronics enclosure or even start soldering or something like that. Oof. But it's hard to reach. Sorry. Oh, there we go. First one is in. I am sweating. It's really getting warm in here with all of the studio lights. Gary's asking, what's the best setting to print ABS? Well, there is never a best setting. ABS is sometimes really hard to print just because plain ABS tends to warp quite a bit. So really have a hot print bed that helps a lot with sticking it to it. Use ABS slurry or something like that, or print bed adhesive. And if you are more interested on that topic, check out Tom did a really great video on ABS in general, maybe a year ago or something like that. Maybe somebody can link it in the comments. It's a really nice video where he talks about what ABS is, how should you print it, what are the problems with it. So check it out. Okay, this one is a little bit easier to insert, so just put it in there. And we are almost ready to go to install the Flexplate system. Yes, there we are. How do you actually like the camera angles? Because before I did not have, well, two nice cameras to show what I'm doing, and now I got a new like HDMI to USB converter, and this enables me to use both of my good cameras for streaming. And I think the shots are way nicer than using a cheap webcam. Oh, hey Tom. Thanks for stopping by. All right, James is screaming fan guard. I deliberately did not use the fan guard because it won't be ripping my finger off if I get my finger inside. And it's just bad for the airflow and adds weight to the extruder, so I just got rid of it. All right. I guess the update is done. Before I install the Flexplate, I will just plug it in for a second, just to see if everything is working. Let's see if everything is working, and then we can continue. All right. So, and do you hear that? There is only a really, really quiet hum in the background, and this is so nice. It's not totally noiseless at the moment, and probably when the big fans start spinning, it will get a little bit louder during printing, but this is just really, really nice. I so much enjoyed using this printer right here in the office because it's you don't hear it in the background. You can still work and print at the same time. And this was an issue I always had with the CR10, the Dremel printer, and also the Prusa printer, since I don't have a Prusa i3 Mark 2.5. Sorry, 3. All right. Just give me 1 second. I need to drink something. All right, I guess we are at the point for which most of you have been joining the stream today. And this is adding the Flexplate system on the printer. And yeah, it comes in a nice box. My address is still on there, but yeah, anyways. I unfortunately already received it from Peter like 3 months ago, and I didn't install it all of the time. I'm quite happy that I did not install it on my CR10, because I think installing it on the Artillery 3D X1 is the way better choice, just because this will be the printer I'll be using way more than the CR10. So yeah, let's crack it open. There we go. If anyone is interested, I had to pay customs for it, and customs was 17 euros. So the WHAM Flexplate system is coming in different sizes. You can get it for CR10 style printers with a 300 by 300 print bed. You can also get it for smaller machines. Links in the description for the shop. I have the 310 by 310 Flexplate, which is suitable for this printer. But you can even get it up to a size of 500 by 500 millimeters to even put it on your CR10 5S or something like that. So the really huge one. All right. I'll get you guys also a look in here when we open it. All right, so it is nicely packed. We have stickers. We have these aluminum foil thingies in here. We have, I hope this is a manual. Use, review, testing, mounting instructions. Yeah, we have mounting instructions in here. And we have the WHAM system. So this is pretty heavy. This is probably the spring steel bed and everything else. And there is nothing more in the package. Nothing seems to be bent. So let's see what's in here. All right. Okay, so we have the spring steel bed with the, let's see that. Where are we? Wham bam. So this is, it actually does not yet have the PEX applied to it. That's kind of a bummer, but yeah, anyways. This is the PEX, I guess. The PEX is, not PEI, so not totally similar than the PEI sheets that, for example, come on the Prushas, but it behaves as, they said me, quite similarly. You only have to print a little bit with hotter temperatures. Cool. All right, and this right here is the flexible magnet, which is supposedly able to hold up with temperatures up to 130 degrees Celsius. So you don't have to be afraid that you ruin this, the magnets, if you are printing ABS or any other high temperature materials on it. All right. And this is actually it. So let's take a look at the instructions. So I am actually a sucker for pictures, but yeah, instructions at the moment are right here printed on a piece of paper. I don't know, maybe there are proper instructions now delivered with the not beta tester units, and there should also be installation videos on their YouTube channel. Okay, remove any prior plastic or glass built surface from your heat bed and clean well to remove all residue, dirt or dust. So that's what we are going to do right now. I have some isopropanol, IPA, whatever you want to call it right here. I actually, unfortunately, can't remove the glass from this printer because the silicone heat mat is directly glued to the glass. This unfortunately adds additional weight to the y-axis, which might be a little bit detrimental to print quality or better to your print speeds. But yeah, we'll see that. Tom, yes, I'll invest in a Stream Deck. I actually I did have a Stream Deck in my Amazon shopping cart, but then it was like 130 bucks and I thought, yeah, is it worth it? But I'll probably do it. Usually it's way easier if I'm not streaming on my own, but today I noticed again that something like that would be really nice. All right, next thing. Your heatbed should be completely clean, smooth and flat. Yes, that's what we have. Check flatness by using a good quality steel ruler on edge and lay it in every direction against the bed with ice at the same level as the top. Okay, I have checked that. The glass is really nice and straight. If no gaps, proceed with step 4. Yeah, so the bed is flat. I have actually checked that in the last stream. That is really nice. If your bed is already flat and clean, or once you have shimmed in perfection, it's time to apply your WHAM magnetic base. First, test fits to make sure it is a good match to your plate. Don Banks, thanks for the $5. Unfortunately, today no cooking on the Prusa, just because we have been out for dinner like until an hour ago. Okay, so let's just put that on here and see if, that's fitting perfectly. To remove the paper backing to the... Okay, so this is probably the standard process that one uses to apply these, well, big stickers on flat surfaces. So you peel it off a little bit. You peel it off at the end and then slowly put it on the whole print plate. All right, so let's remove the adhesive backing. I really need to make sure that I apply it perpendicularly, because otherwise, if it's crooked, that would be a bummer. So just give me 1 second of quietness. Wait. Probably I should have removed a little bit more of the adhesive backing. So is anybody already screaming at me in chat? So yeah, that looks quite nice. The YABC shadow. I should consider re-uploading the stream after editing it. Well, the thing is, in Germany, I actually have to publish my address anyways. So yeah, even though I could hide it right here on the stream, it is nicely readable for everyone in the impressum. That is something the German law requires of actually everyone who is publishing content online or in press. Okay, that seems to be working well. No bubbles so far. And this was should actually be the hard part. One thing I would be really interested to hear from WHAM if all of the WHAM systems, well, come with the PEX system not installed, or with the now the release version is the PEX sheet already installed on the spring steel, because this is just another step which you can actually mess up, and that would be a shame. Okay. That looks pretty decent. Yes, I'm missing a stream deck. As you guys can see, it looks really nice and flat. There aren't any bubbles. There aren't any bubbles. It looks really nice and flat. There are some residues of glue or something like that right here on the surface, which I'll probably just remove with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, or how you guys are calling it over the pond. Isopropanol, isopropyl, propyl alcohol, IPA, whatever. WHAM do not ship to Latvia. That is interesting, because Peter, I think, just said they're shipping anywhere on the world. Unfortunately, no nice IPA beer there. All right. I think I just made it worse than it was before, because now it's all like gummed up. Whatever. All right. Let's continue with the manual. Keep the whole magnetic base elevated, that we have done. Now it's time to mount your WHAM PEX build surface to the WHAM Flexiplate. Clean the WHAM Flexiplate with alcohol and paper towel till there's no grease or dirt on the surface. Work in a clean area. Yeah, it's kind of clean in here. And on a clean work surface. Yeah, it's kind of clean in here. Begin by peeling just a 1.5 inches of the backing paper back from the WHAM PEX build surface on one edge. Apply this edge carefully to the rear edge of the WHAM Flexplate. All right. The question is if I can install it directly right here on the printer, because that would maybe make it a little bit easier for me to get everything in position. Is Tom actually leaving? Tom, have a good one. We'll probably talk the next couple of days. All right. do the wet method. Oh no, I don't really want to mess around with like wet soapy water right here. So still, let's clean the flex plate before that everything adheres properly. So this is nice. The laser etched markings on here are really nice, and if you are not that keen on always showing that you are using a WHAM system, you can probably only just flip it around and apply the PX on the other side. A nice thing would maybe have been if both sides, just like the Prusa print beds, have this like PI or PX applied to them, because if you ruin one side, you can always switch to the other one. But this is not the case, so yeah, you just need to be you need to pay attention a little bit. But since you don't really need to use a spatula to remove prints, the chance of like ruining your print plate is way smaller than with the normal like rigid flex plates or with the rigid print plate systems. All right, so this is going to be interesting. As I said, I think I'll install it when it is on the print bed, because that just makes it really nice, and well, it won't move away. Let me check if I have something which I can use to just push it down a little. Yeah. Let's just use this one. All right. Let's change cameras that you can nicely see me fail. This is a little bit. Oh, this is a little bit dark. Sorry. I don't really know where this is coming from. Wait a second. This is probably a little bit better. All right, so there we go. I will start in this corner right here in the back and then just walk my way all the way forward. Okay. James is saying that I should use my laser engraver on the other side. The thing is that the laser engraver that I have is probably not capable to etch stainless steel, or no, this is probably not stainless steel, but to etch this kind of steel. So you need to have a proper CO2 laser for that. Okay, so yeah. So don't laugh at me when I fail. Sorry, I need to be quiet just a little bit because I need to concentrate. Okay. This does look kind of okay. If it sticks, it's stuck. Yeah, you're right. I think I have it on there kind of perpendicular. There's also the thing that the flex plate is 310 by 310 millimeters, well, large. So I have kind of a 5 millimeter margin all around the print plate where I can mess up. Yeah, it's not perfectly perpendicular, but I think it's good enough. So I just use my spatula Wait, guys, let me change the camera angle a little bit that you can see what I'm doing. So I'll just like take a credit card and then slowly squeeze out all of the bubbles. To be honest, I would really prefer if this would be pre-installed already, because this is just not something nice. And if you have somebody who has skill with it, it goes way faster and looks way nicer in the end. But I think we're getting there. Okay. Oh yeah. Cool. Okay. Tongue at the right angle. There we go. Nice. I think I did not the worst job. Let me show you what I did. Sorry for the shakiness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The protective film is going to be the best thing. All right, let me change to the pure camera angle. And now listen closely. Ooh, oh yeah. Nice. So the only thing which is not 100% perfect is that not all of the glue is like already pushed on the layer that is below. Maybe, yeah, you can see it this way. But otherwise, it looks perfect. I think I did not the worst job. These aren't bubbles. Does it still? Yeah, okay. We still have enough spacing in there. So look at that. Oh, this is nice. And it holds really firmly on there. So I guess the last thing we need to do is, I'm a sucker for stickers. We'll add one of these stickers right here on the front. Yeah. Come on. Where are we? No alignment packs, right? No, the alignment has to be done manually, but it wasn't that bad. Just be a little bit patient and then you will be fine. The Guinness is asking, will I make a test print with it? Of course I will be making a test print with it. Otherwise I would not know if it works. So I have already prepared something and we will start with that as soon as I have added the sticker. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's nice. Cool. Maybe to get a last look on the print surface. So yeah, as some have already mentioned, there are still some, I wouldn't say these are really bubbles. It's just locations where the glue hasn't really, well, connected yet properly with the spring steel. But this will probably go away over time. So, cool. All right. So we have added the WHAM system. This sticker will go on my tensile test machine. If you guys have any stickers, just send them to my address. And as I said before, I'm a sucker for stickers. I'll put them on my tensile testing machine. Let's get this out of the way. Before we can actually start with the print, we still need to level the bed because we have an additional, I would say, like 2 millimeters on there. So we need to re-level the bed. In order to do that, let's just plug the printer back in. Oh, Castaboros is asking if I already rubbed it with steel wool and alcohol. I should actually read the manual to the end. Remove any protective film from the top of the WHAM PEX build surface, should there be any. We did that. Prepare the WHAM PEX build surface sheet surface using 000 steel wool and a bit of rubbing alcohol. You can also use 400 grit sandpaper. The clean surface then clean the surface with fresh paper towel and alcohol. I don't have any steel wool right here, but I have 400 grit sandpaper. This is 100. Let's see. This is 1200. This is 2000 grit sandpaper. Let's see. I have 320. 320 should also be okay for that task. 320. Yeah, read a manual. I'm usually not the one who is happy when reading manuals, but sometimes it's a good thing to do. But since I have you guys right here, you remind me of mistakes I was about to do. The question is, well, let's just use the sandpaper and rough up the surface, which really is hurting my heart. But that just, well, probably helps you that the material grabs better to the printing surface. So let's do it in one direction and let's do it perpendicular to it. Yeah, as I said, it's hurting myself, but one has to do what one has to do. Okay, we're still able to read what's below. Can you see that? Yeah. It's not perfect anymore, but it's not as bad as it could be. So once in this direction. It's interesting to see that currently 400 people are watching me sanding a piece of plastic. And if some of these 400 people even enjoy what they are seeing at the moment, please don't forget to leave a like. It's highly appreciated. All right, some rubbing alcohol and to get just the residue of the sanding process away from the build platform. ASMR, I'm sorry, I'm not really into ASMR, but if you guys enjoy that, I can also like be really quiet and have you listened to the satisfying sound? All right. So if this wasn't really worth a thumbs up, I don't know what could actually be. All right. So we are done with that. Some guys are discussing in the chat if there's a real science behind to use perpendicular or circular motion to rough up everything. This feels kind of rough right now, to be honest, and I think that prints will stick to it properly, I hope. All right. So yeah, as I said, next step will be leveling. And for leveling, what I'll actually be doing is the following. There is an inductive end stop right here, and I'll just try to move this one up for 2 millimeters. So I don't have to, well, screw the leveling screws too much. So just give me 1 second. Before I do that, I'll mark the previous location. Just because if this thing gets too loose, it's easier for me to find the proper location again. Okay, let's loosen this one up. Let's see if I can show you what I'm doing there. This is the wrong one. Okay. This should almost be the right amount. All right. Okay. I will be leveling the print bed in its hot state. So I will heat up the print platform and I will heat up the hot end so that we can adjust the nozzle gap properly. So I'll go on Tools, Heat, and we'll heat up the nozzle to something like 180 degrees Celsius. And the bed I'll heat up all the way to 70 degrees Celsius, which will be the value we'll be later using to print PLA on it. All right. The really nice thing about the 230 volt system and the 24 volt system for the hot end is that heating up the bed and the extruder is so crazy fast. So we are already at 150 degrees Celsius on the nozzle and we are already on 45 degrees on the bed. And just because this color is so nice, I will also be adding it over the hot end again, that temperatures might be a little bit more constant. Peter is saying bed to 70 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that is what I did. Okay, so bed is at 70 degrees Celsius and the nozzle is at 180 degrees Celsius. I didn't go all the way up to 200 and something degrees Celsius just because this small difference is not too bad and it reduces the amount of material oozing out of the nozzle. So leveling the bed is pretty simple. I go on Tools, Level, and then it shows me like the 4 corners and the middle of the print platform. So I'll go on the first one. The printer will home. And do you hear that you hear nothing of the motion? This is so nice. Okay, so this is the first location. One of the things which are a bit annoying about the artillery printer is that the leveling screws are so tiny, and it makes leveling the bed a little bit hard if you have bigger hands especially. But this is nothing you couldn't fix with 3D printing. Okay, so let's go to the second corner. Okay, second one looks nice. Third corner. As I said, it's... Third one is also fine. Let's go to the fourth. Oh, sorry, I just pushed on the touch screen. Okay, let's go to the first corner again, just to check if everything is fine. Yeah, that is still all right. And let's go to the middle. And that is also perfect. Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, I have prepared a small print which we can print out. Before we do that, we need to add some filament. Let's see. One of the other a bit annoying things about the printer is the spool holder, even though it works really nice with the rollers right here on top. But if you're using different brands of material with different thicknesses of spools, you always need to adjust the screws up here. So having a more easily adjustable spool holder would be a great thing for this printer. I'm not using the filament runout sensor because it's kind of fiddly to get the material in there. I just blocked it with a short piece of filament. Let's move to the home position and then add the material, and then we can start to print. Okay, move. Okay. So inserting the filament is really easy. You just wait a second. I have this nice camera, don't I? Okay, so inserting the filament is really easy. You just push this lever back, put it in there, and then push it all the way down until filament starts coming out of the nozzle. Well, we're still at 170 degrees Celsius, so I need to heat up the hot end a little bit more. Let's go to 210. Let's see. Okay, so we are at 210 degrees Celsius. So I'll just push more filament through there. At the moment I'm actually using eSun's PLA Plus, which works really nice and has some really nice colors. Okay, the thing that we will be printing is today not just a Marvin or something like that. I have selected a little bit of a bigger print in terms of surface area that we can see. Can you guys hear me again? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's priming the nozzle. Sound is back. I think I'll also turn off the light that you can see better what's happening. Webcam. Okay. Leandro is asking, am I happy with the printer? I will talk about the printer in a second, as soon as we see that the first layer is adhering properly. And the print time is supposedly something around 30 minutes, so we have some time to chat about these things. Everything seems good so far. I will need to replace batteries. Sorry guys. I will be back in a second. I'm just replacing the batteries. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Perfect. Yeah, this is the thing. So I upgraded my gear to wireless microphones, but the thing with wireless microphones is that you need to have your batteries charged all of the time. And this is something that I screwed up. So, questions at the moment. Yeah, the printer is way quieter now. It's, as you can hear or can't hear in the background, the stepper motors themselves don't have any, well, audible sounds to them. The only thing that I'm still able to hear is the 80mm fan, which is on the inside, but it's not bad at all. The Hotend cooling fan is still, well, you're still able to hear it, but it is no problem whatsoever. Is this the Half-Life logo? It is actually not the Half-Life logo. So I had a couple of giveaways which I took with me to Merv, and I only realized now that they kind of look like Half-Life logos. So this is my new channel logo, which I still wasn't able to implement yet. But we will be printing this one in just a little bit bigger. Captain Deadpool is asking, where is your 60 by 60 millimeter fan mod? It's not existing anymore because we replaced it with an 80 millimeter fan. So the shipped version of the Artillery 3D printer does not come with the small whiny 40 millimeter fan anymore. It does come with an 80 millimeter fan now, which is way better. Luri, a bit of over extrusion on the first layer. Yes, we do have a little bit over extrusion on the first layer, but this is not bad because especially with the PX sheet, it's good if you really squish the material on the print plate. So far, everything is sticking. As I said, I have especially chosen a bigger surface area print that still doesn't print too long, that we can see if everything is like holding up or just sticking to the print surface. Because this is something you can see the best if you have prints with a big surface area and not with just really tiny surface areas. Questions. Captain Deadpool is asking, they sent you a new version printer or replacement fan? No, so the first thing we did in the stream today is replacing, so I got an upgrade kit from Artillery 3D to the release version, and we installed that before we installed the flexible print plate system. Bill is asking, do you have a video on your homemade strength of material tester? Yes, there is a video on the universal test machine. It is like 2 or 3 months old. You can find that in my history. BV3D, Brian, Stefan, great job. Thanks. I hope I can kind of entertain you guys. Have a great day too. Enjoy. All right, I think as long as this is printing now, I'll talk about the Artillery 3D printer a little bit, what my experience was during the first 3 weeks that I have been using it. So all in all, I think I have been running it for like 100 hours so far. Not that little, but also not that much. Did a couple of really big prints, did a couple of small prints, and I'll just have my small cheat sheet right here, tell you a little bit about the pros and the cons of this machine, because I don't know when I will be releasing like a full review of that printer, but since I really like the machine so far, I thought it would be interesting to just share my thoughts on it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Let's see if there are some other questions already. Okay, so the things that I didn't really like about the printer so far is, even though it uses a 230 volt or really mains voltage heated bed, which helps you with the heat up times tremendously, I still do not really feel that comfortable having really mains voltage at a location where I can potentially touch it. Some people might be okay with that. I don't really know what I should think about that. I would have preferred if they would have just used the 24-volt bed, because this also really heats up quite quickly on a 24-volt system. The LCD, even though it is working really, really nicely, it's a resistive touchscreen, full color and everything, but you are kind of limited in some options. So for example, during print, I haven't really found the option to, for example, adjust the C height a little bit. This is something which I usually do on my other printers if I see that the nozzle is too close or too far away from the print surface. Also some other things, they might be upgradable on that LCD. I have never been using one of these before, but at the moment it is still a little bit limited. Also for the USB stick and also the SD card they are using a FAT file system on these, and it's kind of hard nowadays to format drives in FAT file format. Because usually FAT32, NTFS or exFAT are the standard file systems. So I am still using the delivered stick they sent me because I didn't really find another drive at home which I was able to format in FAT. Something I didn't really like that much. The print quality is nice. I have to give them that, but due to the reason that they are using the Volcano Hotend, it's not as crisp as with the standard V6 Hotend. This is something that could be a little bit bigger, but if you are printing big prints, the Volcano extruder is something really, really nice because it gives you the possibility to print really with 80 millimeters a second with a really, really big nozzle on that machine. Currently we are running also 80 millimeters a second, by the way. What else? Yeah, the firmware, even though they are using Marlin, is still not open source. I have been talking to them, and also I think Joe, the 3D Maker noob, was talking to them. They told me that they will be releasing the source codes to the firmware the next couple of days, but as far as I know, it's not released yet, so they are not really complying with the open source license, and this is something I actually don't really want to support, even though I show this right now, but I really try to push them that they will be releasing everything. And something which you probably have already seen when I was leveling the print platform, the knobs for leveling the print bed are really, really small, and it's kind of hard to get under them to do the leveling procedure. But I have already seen that there are upgraded leveling knobs available on Thingiverse that you can just print out and yeah, just put over the existing ones that it's easier to level. Toby, your skirt isn't completely printed. Yeah, the reason why it is not completely printed because I did not have, or let's put it this way. I have been priming the nozzle right here. Sorry, I have been priming the nozzle right here, which is actually my logo. And then I retract, and I don't unretract at the location where the skirt is starting. This is the reason why it looks as it does at the moment. So not bad, to be honest. Let's see. Okay. Again, something which is so nice about this machine, it is so quiet. It is so quiet. So there are no stepper noises really. The only thing that you can hear, and maybe hear a little bit in the background, are the fans, the part cooling fan, the hot end cooling fan and the electronics cooling fan. But this is still totally bearable. Castoboros is asking, sorry, did you say that you are running 80 millimeters a second earlier? Yes, I run 80 millimeters a second on the infill. Perimeters are printed at 60 millimeters a second, I think. Also, the nice thing, as I have said before, is that you can print really fast with this machine. First, the Volcano extruder gives you the possibility to really melt a lot of material in a short amount of time. So even using like a 1 millimeter nozzle at 60 or 80 millimeters a second shouldn't be an issue. And the steppers and the stepper motor drivers are set to really high currents that you can do travel moves up to like 250 millimeters a second. It's really crazy. And I actually tuned down it a little bit because this caused kind of artifacts on the previous prints. Currently, I'm running all of my travel moves at 150 millimeters a second. Eggy is asking, what are the drivers? TMCs? No, these are not TMCs, but something very similar. If you take a look at the previous unboxing live stream, I have taken a close-up of the stepper motors. These are kind of Chinese rip-offs of the TMC drivers. What nozzle size do I run? I still run the 0.4 millimeter nozzle on this machine, but I have also already been printing with an 0.6 millimeter nozzle from E3D in there, which was working flawlessly, so no problem there. Somebody else asked what the maximum bed temperature was. So I think this one can go up to 110 degrees Celsius in no time. It is not an all metal hot end, so you are kind of limited by the extruder or the nozzle temperatures. Somewhere I have read that the maximum ones are like 150 degrees Celsius in the firmware, and here the maximum you can set is I think 160 or 170 degrees Celsius, but you cannot go all the way up to 300 degrees Celsius, what a full metal hot end could do. Toby, he's killing time until the Battle of Winterfell finally arrives. Yeah, I'm also waiting for it, but I will be watching it tomorrow night probably, so no spoilers at the moment. Even though I don't think it's released anywhere so far, and I don't know if it has been leaked somewhere. Well, let's go back to like my impression of the printer. The printer has power loss recovery, similar to the new CR10S and other ones. So if your power goes out, the printer will be able to continue on the same layer, but it will not continue at the same location. It will redo the complete layer. So there might be, you will be able in the end to see some artifacts, but still your print should not be ruined all the way. Yeah, thanks Peter. Thanks for sending me the Flexplate system. It looks really nice so far. I am quite interested to see how good the print pops off. We will wait until it's cooled down all the way. Hill CT is asking, is that the new Blackmagic camera? No, I am using, for the close-up right here, a Panasonic Lumix GX80 or 85, depending on where you're living. And the main camera right here is a Lumix Panasonic GH5. Bye, Peter. Thanks for stopping by. But now back to the printer. We have a filament runout sensor. Even though I'm not using it at the moment, it would be there, and if you have a bigger print, this is something which would maybe enable you to use a half full roll of filament and not be afraid that just like 5 layers before the end your filament runs out and your whole print is ruined. That is really nice. The enclosure, I really like the enclosure, that all of the electronics are just in that box. There are no wires hanging around besides the wire that goes to the print platform. Everything is really nice and enclosed. Something I really enjoy. You don't have the separate box next to the printer where all the wires go from, and this uses way less space right here in my office than, for example, a CR10. Also, what I really like and what I would really hope to see on more printers in the future are these flex cables right here to connect the print heads and all the electronics. So we have flat flex cables right here, we have flat flex cables right here, and these flat flex cables are just giving it such a clean look. Oh, I really like it. Yeah, if there are any Germans around here and want to support a master student, please feel free to answer the questions in the poll right here. It will probably help him out in the usage of 3D printers. Luri is asking, Stefan, consider doing a guide on linear advanced features of Marlin firmware. I actually plan to do that for such a long time, and I have created such a really nice Excel spreadsheet which really shows how linear advance works. I actually also wanted to use linear advance for this printer, but unfortunately it is not activated in the firmware. And this is also one of the reasons I really look forward when they finally release the firmware, that I can activate that and use linear advance for that printer, because that just makes your prints look just a little bit nicer. Oh, and if you guys are not German, there's also an English version of the poll. So if you guys have just a couple of minutes of time, check the poll which I just linked in the description. All right. We have also taken a look at the electronics before, and even though everything is enclosed, they did a really nice job with just routing all of the wires on the inside. All of the wires are crimped. They used hot snots at the plugs that nothing gets loose during shipping. Everything is really nice laid out there. Really good job they did there. The LCD is nice, full color LCD screen, resistive touch screen, totally responsive. So if you push something, there is no lag between your input and the thing you see on the screen. But as I said before, there are some features missing I would really like to see. Some things like baby stepping and whatever, like baby stepping and yeah, let's just say baby stepping. You can adjust temperatures, I think, in the settings. Wait a second. I think you can. Oh, come on. You can adjust the temperatures in here for the print bed and the extruder. This is working. You can change the filament. You can set the fan speed and the printing speed in here, and you can turn off the light at the extruder. This is something really nice. But there's no way.
I enjoy how in-depth you go with your testing.
Blake, thank you for the $3. highly appreciated. Yeah, I miss baby stepping on here. I just want to get that out. Okay. Martin is asking, is there a belt tensioning mechanism? No, there is no belt tensioning mechanism. You have to move. Let me show you. Just as in the old. No, I don't want you to see my closet. Just as in the old times, you have to move the whole idler in that direction. Not too nice. Other questions? Thanks, guys, for doing the survey. Not poll. Yeah, survey was the right word. Okay. What is also nice? Yeah, we have a dual Z-axis, so we have two stepper motors for the Z-axis, which avoids misalignment of the Z-axis, and they are actually linked via a toothed belt up here, which is, in my opinion, not really necessary, but probably still good if the printer is turned off and the Z-axis is quite heavy. What else? Yeah, as I said before, the flat flex is really elegant. I really like that solution. I have had that on my first 3D printer, the Mendel 90, but since then I have not seen it. Well, I have seen it. The Dremel printer also uses flat flex cables, but I haven't really seen it on the really popular printers, and this is a pity because I think it's a nice and clean solution. And it's a cheap printer. The printer is, you can get it for 400 bucks. It's more expensive. It's cheaper than a CR10S. It's cheaper. It's almost the price as a CR10. And the value you're getting, in my opinion, is better than for a CR10S or a CR10 or the other comparable printers. So if you are thinking about getting one of these bigger machines, so far, using it for 3 weeks, I'm really happy with it. There is not much more I can say at the moment. Mythos is asking if the printer is better than the Prusa or if you can't really compare them. For me, it's a different printer. The Prusa, for me, is a printer where I print high details, which is very, very reliable in my opinion. And this printer is more for the big stuff. So I will probably be putting an 0.6mm nozzle in there. So if I need to print something big, if I need to print something sturdy, this is my go-to printer there. If I have fine detail prints, I'll go with the Prusa. If I would have to choose between both of them, I don't know. I might still go for the Prusa just because I have so much experience with it and I know how it works. I know how reliable it is. Yeah. But as I said, this is also, I think, a really nice machine, and I like this one way better than the CR10. Thanks for the $5. I am always happy if I can help, and also thanks to all of the viewers that did the poll and helped. Let me read that name out properly. Taconitable in his master thesis research. Yeah. All right. What I can maybe also show you. We have a nice We have a progress bar down here. It tells us our extruder temperature, fan speed, bed temperature. We are at 89% of the print, so almost finished. Maybe just 3, 4, 5 more minutes. And then we are ready to go. So do you guys have any more questions on the printer or the WHAM build system, or I don't know, anything else related to 3D printing? where I could help you out. Looks like the JG Aurora A5. I don't have an JG Aurora A5, so I can't really do the comparison. It still looks like a CR10 or a CR10X clone, or CRX clone, I think this would be the right term. But they did some really good changes there. I like the direct extruder. I like the cable management system. I like the enclosure. I like the quietness of the printer itself. The stepper motor drivers are nice. You don't really get salmon skin on there, so you don't need to fiddle around with TL smoothers or something like that. So they took an existing really good design and made it even a little bit better. Anthon is asking, do you have any experience with the BuildTech Flex system? No, I don't. The only Flex system I have so far is for my Prusa, and for the Prusa it's just awesome. I love it so much, and especially something I'm missing on this printer is the textured PI surface. This is something that not everybody likes, but in my opinion is so awesome. And I tell you why. So this is finished now. We need to wait until this has cooled down all of the way. But I'll show you something before. So this is a print for a customer. And this surface will be visible at the storefront. And look at how nicely that looks. You couldn't even tell that this was 3D printed. And this is something I really like about the textured PI. The surface that this is giving you, it's awesome. So maybe there might be something similar for other printers as well in the future. We don't have that on the WHAM system, so we will have kind of a shiny lower surface, but still I hope that it will be fine. So many comments. Just give me 1 second. Jeff is asking, does PC stick to the PEX sheet? I don't know if it is sticking, but you always have the possibility to, for example, use Magigoo PC, which is also working with PI print beds. That helps you to get PC stick to glass surfaces, and probably also to this sheet right here if it's not working. Does this work with Octoprint? Yes, it does work with Octoprint. You can plug a Raspberry Pi right here on the side and use this printer remotely. The electronic telescope. Don't mention the powder-coated PI surface. I still don't have mine. Yes, I was also only lucky to be at MRF where where I was able to steal 2 flexible powder-coated print sheets. Luri is asking, it was printed with PLA. Yeah, we printed it with PLA at the moment. Anything else? Anyone have the Mosquito Hotend on the Prusa Mark 3S? I don't have one, unfortunately. They asked me to send me one, but I just don't have the time at the moment to do everything, which I really would like. Yine is asking, are there filament residue after you remove the print on the PI sheet? I don't know if we will have residues right here. I actually will be removing the print plate from the printer just that it cools down faster. Let's see. That it cools down a little bit faster because we need to wait until the plate is cool, and this currently still has 70 degrees Celsius and the print is also still pretty warm. I don't think that there will be any residue there. And also the flexible print plate on the Prusa, even with the powder coated PI that has a distinct surface, you usually can remove all of the printed material from the print plate. That is really nice. Questions? Muhammad is asking, how can I print flexible filament with a Bowden Tube 3D printer? Print slow and don't use too flexible materials, but that's usually working. If not, direct extruder, and also make sure that you have an extruder on your printer where the filament is constrained very well at the hopped gear where the filament is pushed into the Bowden tube. Blake is asking, does the Volcano Hotend on this cause some zits or blobs with the 0.4mm nozzle? I know you said this would be good for larger prints details. It does leave a little bit more zits and blobs on the prints as the standard short nozzles. It's not too bad, but it is noticeable a little bit. As I said, I think this printer is really well suited for an 0.6 or 0.8mm nozzle where you really chew through lots of material in a short amount of time. John is asking, can I print nylon on the Sidewinder? It depends on the brand of nylon you're using. If your nylon can be printed at 250, 260 degrees Celsius, yes, you should be able to print nylon on this machine, especially because the print bed can go all the way up to 110 degrees Celsius. I haven't tried it so far, but I'm quite sure that it should be possible. Brick is asking, have you noticed any C-banding on taller prints? I haven't printed really huge prints so far, but for all of the prints that I did so far, I haven't noticed any C-banding. Anton is asking, do you have any tips for making our own custom purge lines for your printer, as I have? I modeled just a one wall part in Fusion 360, exported that as an STL, got it into Cura, sliced it with surface mode set to surface, and then you can use the G-code and just put it at the start of your print. Questions, sorry, so many questions at the moment. Hill CT is asking, what is the thermal rating on the WHAM system magnetic sheet? So WHAM claims 130 degrees Celsius for their magnetic sheet, so you should be fine if you're not like printing peak or something like that. Okay. Perfect. Let's see. So this has cooled down all the way. This is cold to the touch. And let's see how good it pops off and if we ruin the sheet. So maybe let's turn the printer off that we can hear the nice sound. Oh, look at that. So you can actually see the scuff marks from the sandpaper that we used to rough up the surface. Can you see that? So they have really been imprinted on the part, but otherwise, yeah, everything removed or was removed perfectly. This is sticking well, but as soon as you have one corner removed, yeah, it is away. Nice, cool. All right, let's get this back on there. Oof. Okay. Somebody was asking before if this thing has alignment pegs as the Prusa sheet. No, it does not, but it doesn't really, you can't really slide it around. So I think there is no real, there's no real danger that your printer moves the print bed and therefore causes like banding on your prints. Okay. Sorry. Okay, perfect. I think let's switch to the full camera. I think this concludes today's stream. We have updated the Artillery 3D printer to its like release status. I'm really happy with that machine. But the more interesting thing was the WHAM Flex system. Was really easy to install. You just had to pay attention a little bit when gluing the PEX sheet and the magnetic sheet to the print bed. But that worked really nice for me. Prints seem to stick. I'm happy with that. If you are interested in the printer or the print bed itself, there are links in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to leave a like. I would highly appreciate that because that just helps spreading the word and helps me grow the channel. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for spending your Sunday or Monday morning with me. And I hope to see you guys soon. There will be a new video coming up in the next 5 or 6 days. Stay tuned for that. And until next time, thank you very much and goodbye. Am I still online?